Hello, greeting you from Anim Psychological Services. I told you I'll bring you some lessons in the days and weeks to come. Today, we begin with one of such lessons I have titled Our World of Psychological Problems, or we can say our world of mental problems. Yet still, we can call it our world of emotional and behavioral problems. I'm Dr. Michael T. Anim, a clinical psychologist, a clinical counselor, a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast School of Medical Sciences and the Department of Psychological Medicine and Mental Health. And in private practice, I see many cases of mental health. Then we look at the topic I have just told you. We would first want to ask a question. What is our world as against God's world? You know, in Anim Psychological Services, our motto is God's Word, solving psychological problems. So from time to time, we'll be making reference to the God factor in all these issues. So we look at our world versus God's world. What is world? That is a basic thing I want us to clarify. The word world is the Greek word cosmos, K-O-S-M-O-S, and the Latin word cosmos, C-O-S-M-O-S. And it simply is the systems that are designed to carry out and used to govern or run the earth and control the earth. So the world is the governmental system of control that is established and used to run the resources of the earth. This means that the word world and the word earth are different. World and earth are not the same thing. The world is what is superimposed on the earth. The earth is the material part of creation. The world is the systems that humans have founded and then imposed on the earth to run the resources for the benefit of mankind. So what makes it our world? Remember, the word world comes from so many sources. I gave you a Greek source. I gave you a Latin source of the word. It also has a Germanic source, and it's a Germanic compound word that means age of man. That talks about human existence. So world literally is age or era of man. That tells you that when we use the word world, we are referring to the beginning of mankind and when mankind started to impose a system of governance on the earth. We designed the way we wanted it. We designed the world the way we wanted it. And do you know what happened? We kicked God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, out of the world or out of the heavens and the earth he created. If we make reference to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, we learn that God said, "Let us make man in our own image and in our own likeness, and let them rule over the earth." Let them means let's permit them, let's allow them to rule over the earth. Rule over the earth means to set up a system of governance over the material earth. And that is called world. So what is the description of our world? We can describe our world in various ways. And that is our world as against God's world. Our world looks like what John wrote in 1 John 2:15 and 17, where he describes our world as comprising of lustful things, material things, prideful things, the lust of the flesh, the pride of the eyes. In James 4:4, you find that he said, if we become friends of the world, it makes us enemies of God. So there is some difference between the world of mankind our world and God's world. So what does God's world look like? In contrast to our world, God's world is very much ordered, very much in place, peaceful, without corruption, without the things we find that frustrate us in this world of ours. God's world is diametrically different, more organized, more ordered, and more peaceful, and more productive, more powerful than our world. So who created our world? We humans created our world the way we wanted it. God wanted us to create a world that looks like His world, and His world is called the heavens or the heavenly world. He covets heaven. That is His world, and we know what operates there. He wanted us to create a heavenly world on the earth planet. And that's a big challenge for us. So who created our world? Humans created our world the way we wanted it. What did we use to create our world? We used two things God gave us. Number one, our minds. Number two, our bodies. These are the tools we have used to create our world. When I say we, who are the we? We as spirits, we use some tools, our minds and our bodies, to create the world. God wanted us to use our minds and our bodies to create a world that looks like His world in heaven. How come our world doesn't look like God's world? These are the matters we want to find out while we study in our upcoming talks and studies. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.